All right, today I want to show you the logic analyzer being used. I have my SDK85 machine here, and over on this side you can see we have a whole bunch of lines hooked up. We have the 8 data lines, the 16 address lines, read, write, I/O signals, and they come into the top of the machine here. And so everything is, the logic levels and stuff are set very close to the machine, and then the signals are just then transported over into the memory capture device over here, the DMA. All right. So what I'm going to be doing is taking a look at the monitor program running, and I will be hitting the reset button once in a while. I'll show you what's going on. Let's take a look at their software. All right, let's take a look at their software. I really am enjoying their software. It's good. So at the left-hand side here, we can see all the data lines, all the A ports and all the B ports. So we have 32 bits, 16 each. Let's see here. Let's just go ahead and do a quick run here just so you can see what happens. So you get a whole bunch of data, and you can zoom out, you can zoom in. I'm just holding down the control key and then a mouse wheel, and then just the mouse wheel alone will scroll with the control key down, zooms. Down at the bottom, you see the entire captured waveform, and then this little blue rectangle shows you where you are, and you can slide that back and forth and get to places fast. So this is the zoom view here. All right. Over on the right hand side, you can say how much memory do you want to use. We're capturing 32K. This machine can go up to 16 mega samples. Put it back to 32K, and then the internal clock you can set from 500 megahertz to 5 megahertz. I have it set to 25 megahertz right now. That's the sampling speed. And down here we have the run button and things down here. Okay, we want to set this up to be usable, so you can set it up and then you can save it. So I've saved one already. Oh well, we didn't save the right one, so we can just set it up again. That'll be a good video. So what we want to do is we want to set up a bus. So we'll say sampling. We're going to look at the sampling setup. Here are all the bits. This is all the stuff we've already seen. These are trigger events. All right. So we also can set up buses. So we will create a bus. And there's a whole bunch of things. These are all of the different decodings. So popular ones are SBI, UART, I2C, CAN bus. You know, everything is in here. PS2 through. They have tons and tons and tons and tons of decoders. So really good software. So we can set up a bus, and our first bus will be A0 through A15. Okay, and we'll call that address bus. And now it's up at the top there. So if we zoom in, you can see that it's decoding the address bus and displaying it in hexadecimal. So let's go ahead and add another bus. This time we'll go to the B port, B0 through 7. That's going to be the data bus. Okay. So now we have the address bus, the data bus. I like the data on the bottom, so we'll just drag it over. So now the address on top. Then we need a couple other signals. Let's see. We can rename things. This is actually clock. And this one is not read. This one is not write. And this one is IO memory. There we go. All right. So we can also set up triggering events. So let's go ahead and look at triggering. You can do triggering a simple way. You can just say, I want to trigger on the falling edge of read. So you just click, there's a trigger column here. You click on it once and it says high state, low state, rising edge, falling edge, both edges. Okay, so we want falling edge. Now if we say run, the trigger line here is going to be on the first event of a falling read line, okay? We can also do pretty fancy triggering. So we'll go to the trigger menu. We're going to set up a 3-level trigger, which means that it has to accomplish 1, 2, and 3. So level 0, we will have the falling edge of the read. That's fine. On the next thing, we're going to be looking for an instruction. So we're going to be looking at the B port. And we're going to be looking at a high, high, low, 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 high, high. That is a jump instruction. That is a C3. All right. And then level 2. The next thing we'll look at is, let's say, a rising edge on IO memory. IO memory is 12. So we'll do a rising edge of that. Okay. So we'll say good to go. And we'll hit run, and it's waiting. So those conditions have not been met. It's waiting for those conditions. I'm going to hit the reset button on my machine, and it found those conditions and triggered on it. Okay, so let's zoom out, and we'll go to the very, very start here. All right. So the first thing it was looking for is a falling edge of a read. Okay, I'm going to take one of these cursors and I'm just going to show you that's when that happened. Okay, that happened there. Next thing that's going to be looking for is a jump instruction, and there's one there. So let me grab another cursor here. Oops, come on, grab the cursor. There we go. So it happened here. C3 happened over here. Okay. So C3 would have happened here. So it found that event, then it found that event, and then the next event it found was going to be at the trigger. And if we come down and look, yes, indeed, there's the IO memory, and it had a rising edge. So we had to meet all those 3 conditions before it triggered. And under normal mode, these conditions didn't exist, but on startup they did. So that's when I hit the reset, we got a trigger event. So this is a super cool thing. This trigger position, you can say, okay, let's set it here at the 60% mark. And I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit the reset button. And what is that trigger mode? Well, that says here, if you look at the big zoom at the bottom, that meant we get to look at a lot of events before this trigger. So you can set it at the 90%, or so the default was at 10%. Here I have it set at 60%, so we can go back in time to see if anything happened. So if you have a weird condition, you can trigger on that, and then you can go back in time and look at it. Even, with 16 megabytes of sampling, you could go way back in time to try to look to see what happened. So I really like that. I really like that feature. We'll put it here on something like 12. Hit again, and then you can look at our bottom view. We're down. We see that. We have mostly future events instead of previous events. So, yeah, it's a really super, super nice machine. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, I think I'll do another video on it decoding stuff like I2C and stuff. It does a great job of that. And but this is what I wanted the 32 bits for, to be able to look at all kinds of stuff.